Time to talk to Simon Doull, who we normally do on a Thursday. He's coming beaming in from India today, though, because, Doully, we've got another couple of... I mean, I'm working like you at the moment, mate. I do a day here, I do a day there. I go to the Fiji, I go on holiday, sit in the sun for a while, come back to work, and then have another day off. I love your lifestyle.
Happy birthday on the platform. Happy birthday, Brenda. Did you go up to watch the Drua? Is that where you went, Marty? What's happening? I
went up to have a week up there. Absolutely incredible experience, mate. I mean, that is what is staring Super Rugby in the face, and they can't actually pinpoint that is the future of it. The away trip to the islands, mate. Get some chartered planes together, get some fans on board, do a 2-day, 5-day weekend, coordinate with the resorts, the marketing departments and the airlines. Bada bing. You got a promotion happening that people are interested in. It's not that difficult, is it?
I tell you what, mate, it's not that difficult. And the one thing I will say, last summer up in the UK, I know we're digressing very quickly here, but I went to the Netherlands, which is never a tough ask. But
sorry, we lost you there for a second.
That flocked from the crowds that flocked from England to the Netherlands were just phenomenal. They sold out a beer in the first 3 hours of the first day because they couldn't cater for the amount of English that turned up. And it was just phenomenal, mate. So I just think those little things, it's a 2-hour flight, much like the 2.5 hours to Fiji. You've just got to get those things sorted out, don't you?
Yeah, look, and I look at the Super Rugby round in Melbourne, which is a fizz every year, mate. A third of the stadium is full at best. But I'm sitting there thinking, Simon, I've known you for a long time. I don't know a single woman that I've ever met in the world that if I said, hello, how about you and a few mates go on a shopping la to Melbourne, us lads are going to go and watch a bit of sport, we'll all combine, go out for dinner, have some fun, wouldn't want to jump on that trip. So why the hell can't they get this organised?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and what a great place. I mean, any of those islands. I mean, I've been to most of them at one stage or another for a holiday or for a little bit of work. And absolutely, I mean, they just love it when you turn up as well. The hospitality is second to none. Obviously the rugby. New Zealand have benefited so much from island rugby over many years, longer than we can really remember. If you're going back to club rugby, right through sort of provincial rugby, and the All Blacks and the Māori All Blacks and the Black Ferns, you name it, we have benefited to an enormous amount. If they cannot get this right, then there is something wrong.
All right, let's talk about the IPL before we get into the EPL. What's happening as far as the competition goes, mate? Who's winning, who's grinning?
Last year's winners, Gujarat Titans, are looking very strong again, Marty. They sit atop the table, having played 11, won 8, so they are 16 points. Chennai Super Kings in second are looking relative to the teams now. 16 points, 15 in CSK's case might be enough this year because of they've had one rained-out game where they snuck a point. You know, that little point sometimes makes a huge difference. So, Gujarat, Chennai are looking really comfortable. And then you've just got an absolute cluster. We've got a team on 11 and then 5 other teams on 10 points, including Rajasthan, Kolkata, RCB, Hess's team, Punjab Kings, and the Mumbai Indians, Shane Bond's lot. So, look, it's a real cluster in the middle of that table at the moment. The tournament is, I think, been probably one of the closest, one of the tightest ones for a long time. And, you can really only single out the Gujarat Titans at the moment to say they are a class above. So it's been good. Not a lot of Kiwis are getting game time. Trent Bolt's missed a couple through niggles. The only one that's getting sort of regular game time is Devon Conway, who's basically played every game that he's been available for Chennai. Everyone else is just in and out. Although Glenn Phillips had a magnificent little cameo the other morning for the Hyderabad boys, 25 off just 7 deliveries, and they won a game that they should never have won with his help.
Doully, why is it so close this year? Is it because the auction's working, the spread of the players is better? What is it?
A little bit of both. This impact player rule has been quite significant. So what's happening now, you name a bowling 11 and a batting 11 when you win or lose the toss. You go with 2 team sheets, and then you have 5 impact players. And if you bat first, you're obviously batting with 7 genuine batters, possibly even 8 at times, and then your bowling 11, you can sub one of those batters out and bring in a genuine bowler. and vice versa. When you opt to bowl first, you can bring an extra batter for the second innings. So that's been the key. It's changed the way the game is played a little bit. Teams are going harder. We've seen more 200s scored than any other tournament before in the history of the IPL, and more 200s scored at the halfway stage than any other tournament. So I think we've had 29 scores of 200 or more already, and I think maybe 7 of those have been chased down. So the scores are bigger, bowlers are getting hammered more, and the impact player is having a real mark.
It sounds like the pinch hitter rule in baseball, isn't it? Where you can actually have, but I actually think they've taken it out of the NL when they used to have it as that. Now you've actually, because your pitcher never batted. Is it a good thing? And do you think that international cricket might actually pick this up?
I don't know that international cricket will pick it up. I think it's something that, look, IPL have always been innovative as far as creating their own laws around the game, which is fine. I have no issue with domestic tournaments doing that, and I think you've got to try things to keep it spicy, to keep the interest up. It does allow. It's Stephen Flynn. We did an interview with Stephen the other day on the broadcast, and he made a point around. I think it's a very valid point. It's kind of taken away that almost all-rounder, the guy that bowls you a couple of overs and that might bat at number 7. So it's taken that part of the game away a little bit, because you can play with a genuine batter at number 7 and then sub out one of your top-order batters, one of your openers, and bring in a genuine bowler. And so it's taken out a little bit, unless you're an absolute superstar all-rounder like a Ravi Jadeja or a Hardik Pandya. You're sort of always going to play, but it's taken out that bits and pieces all-rounder. So it's made that role a little bit devoid, I guess, is for want of a better term.
When you say that, Simon Doull is with us out of it. Where are you exactly in India at the moment?
I'm just about to head into the visa office, mate, for my UK visa for the summer. I'm in Mumbai, and Mumbai playing RCB. Mumbai playing Bangalore tonight.
Okay, so you're in India at the moment. You're doing the IPL. When you're talking about that bits and pieces player, I'm lamenting also. Look, when you and me grew up, we had Kapil, we had Sir Richard, we had Botham, we had all of these guys who were genuine all-rounders. We had Chris Cairns as probably the last one for New Zealand. Maybe Daryl Mitchell can be that guy, but a genuine all-rounder who struts onto the field knowing that he can whack a century. He can also take a fiver if he's actually needed to. Just one of the most glorious, I suppose, positions, for want of a better word, in sport, and that this guy can do everything on the field. It's like having a footballer that can both play defence and attack. It's, it's such an unusual thing and such a highly skilled athlete. God, I hope we don't lose this in cricket.
No, I don't think we will. I mean, it's also the hardest job in cricket. You think about the modern day ones that are trying to sort of get it right. And there's a kid that's burst onto the scene a little bit in the last year and a half from Australia called Cameron Green, who absolutely looks a real gun, Marty. He's a heck of a player. I mean, I'd give him another 2 to 3 years. He will be a world superstar. You look at Ben Stokes, who's really struggling with injuries, but he's one of the real genuine ones at the moment who makes that England side, obviously, courtesy of his batting, could make it courtesy of his bowling as a third, fourth seamer as well, if he remains fit. Hardik Pandya is one of those guys in a white ball format. Daryl Mitchell's been brilliant. I was reading an article or something about New Zealand have played 68 games since the start of that England tour last year. He's played 58 of those games, played more. I think he played 10 more than anyone else, Daryl Mitchell. So that shows you how much cricket he has played in the last year or so. He deserves a bit of a break. And those boys have just got back from Pakistan, which, I don't think it was we just touched quickly on it, Marty, because I don't think it was a bad tour from New Zealand's point of view. I know 4-1 doesn't look great in the ODIs, but they managed to salvage a drawn series in the 2020s. And without 7 to 8 of their key players in a very, very tough environment against a very good side, I think it was a pretty decent tour, and we found out a little bit more about a few players.
A couple of quick things before we let you go. We've got Nick Sautner on line, CEO of Eden Park, and he's going to run us through the 2.0 plan. They're talking about putting a roof on the National Stadium, amongst other things.
Brilliant.
So before we get on to the EPL, while I was up in Fiji talking to a couple of lads, one of them, Roshan, was up there on honeymoon with his wife, and he was telling me He's a Kiwi-born Indian lad. He was telling me how much he's looking forward to the One-Day World Cup and just still obsessed as hell with cricket in that country and especially that tournament. Is there much chat going on? I know it's IPL, but about that forthcoming event?
Already, yep. Yeah, we're talking about it pretty much every day when I do this Cricket Buzz show. We're touching on the World Cup. We're touching on where India might be as far as their team is concerned. We're touching on other sides around the world that are obviously Kane Williamson's a big talking point, missing out for New Zealand. What do they do? Where are they at with it? So there's a huge amount of talk, and it still has a big part to play in world cricket.
And also, he said to praise you, he thought that your pronunciation of the Indian names is fantastic, but especially the Sri Lankan names. And he said that, you've obviously paid a lot of care and a lot of attention to it. And it's not only so respectful, it's just really heartwarming. I wanted to pass on that comment to you, mate.
Thanks. Yeah, I do take my time. I do ask the question about how to try and get it right. And you don't always get it right in the heat of the battle, in the heat of the moment. But I think it's that respect thing. And I don't have a tough surname, but people have stuffed it up over the years as well.
I bet they've misspelled it over the years. I bet you've misspelled it. You'll be getting letters that say D-U-L-L, you'll say D-O-L-L.
Oh, mate. I've been called Dull a fair few times. I'll give you the tip, but maybe that's just for some other reasons. I don't know.
Yes. Finally, the EPL, mate. Are you coming fourth or not?
We're fifth. We're fifth. I mean, look, what do we got? We've got Leicester, Villa, Southampton. I mean, we can't catch you. Who have you got? Wolves?
No, we've got Wolves. We've got Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, Fulham at home. We've got 3 out of 4 at home. We've got to nail this. Come on.
Yeah. You're fine. I mean, you're a game in advance. I mean, we should be fine against Leicester, Villa, and Southampton. But I mean, if we can get, we get 9 points, you're surely going to get at least 9 points, I think, out of those 4 games. So I think we're fifth and you're fourth, Marty. But I mean, like a month and a half ago, we were staring down the barrel of 8th or 9th. So I'm not gonna grumble too much.
Hopefully, talk to you next week again, mate. All the very best with your visa.
Cheers, Marty. Thanks, buddy.
2:33 the time.
Devlin.